another, see it. Monday Night Raw review. I'm a little bit late, but still. So, they start off the show with a Becky Lynch promo, where she basically came out with, for some reason, Adam Pearce in the ring, who didn't know why he was in the ring, to which Becky Lynch was talking about, due to the fact that she'd been distracted by damage control and everything, her path to WrestleMania, the very thing she loves being in WrestleMania, is not so clear. So she brought out Adam Pearce to tell him that she wanted to be added, or fight, at least give a chance to be added to the Elimination Chamber by having to have a match right here tonight against someone, or against, I guess, maybe one of the participants, or wherever we went. No, because Bayley interrupted. And Bayley suggests that she be put in, and that Becky didn't really take care of anything last week because Lita did it for her. And Bayley suggests that she be put in there. Becky suggests she is. They got into an argument. Then Bianca came out. And Bianca basically came out to suggest that she'd be fine with one of them being in the chamber. But if they really want to fight their way to be in the chamber, to fight their way to fight her at WrestleMania, then she suggested they had to go through her. So they made a match where basically it was the main event where it'll be Bianca versus Becky versus Bayley, and if either Becky or Bayley wins, they be added to the Elimination Chamber, which will make the start of the Elimination Chamber a triple threat match. But if Bianca wins, neither Bayley nor Becky gets added to the match. Then we go to the first match of the night, which is the Street Profits versus Judgment Day, where they before the match there was a backstage interview, I believe, where Byron asked them, because they have a big day with Damian Priest fighting to try to win the United States Championship, and Rhea and Finn versus Edge and Beth Phoenix at the Elimination Chamber. And they basically said Judgment Day was going to dominate. They came out, had a great match with the Street Profits, and it looked like the Street Profits was going to win at one point. Judgment Day turned around to take the victory. Now, I skimmed through that mostly because what happened afterwards is the most important part. So afterwards, they decided to jump, I think it was Montez or Angelo. One of them was in the ring getting jumped by Judgment Day when Edge and Beth Phoenix came out to even the odds. Though it was just basically Edge and Street Profits until Beth Phoenix tried to get involved to beat up on Dominic, and I think she was about to do the Grand Slam on Dominic, which I'm like, man, they find new ways to make Dominic just look more and more weak. But yeah, he was getting ready to get Grand Slam about Beth Phoenix, but Rhea will come to save Dominic, who I forgot to mention in that backstage interview. They made it seem like she wasn't there; she was still like going around promoting WrestleMania. So it was like I think Edge later on in the interview said that it was straight out of the radar playbook where they faked like one of the members wasn't there, only to be blindsided by them. But I will get to that interview in a bit. But yeah, they being blindsided by Rhea, they got the upper hand on both the Street Profits and Edge and Beth Phoenix to end that segment. And then we go to the Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley contract signing, which again Adam Pearce made another appearance in the ring. He introduced Brock Lesnar, but while getting ready to introduce Bobby Lashley, Brock cut Adam Pearce off and said that enough is enough. He just want Bobby to come out and sign the contract. And said, Bobby, get your ass out here and sign the contract. And thus Bobby music hit. And then we saw the security guards up supposedly was ordered by Adam Pearce or the higher ups. And then Bobby Lashley had him bring out his own table and chair as a way of, I guess, Brock Lesnar pissing him off. He basically sat at the top of the ramp and said that we want to do this on Bobby's time. And Bobby, being agitated, said that he looked over the contract. He had everybody in their mama look over the contract. He said even his kids looked over the contract. But he told Adam wanted him to come out and sign it. He said, I don't think I'm going to. And then Brock told Bobby that if he didn't come out and sign it, he was going to bring the contract to him, beat his ass, knock him unconscious, and then told him he was going to sign it for him. To which Bobby just goaded him into doing it and said, we can face to face, I don't think you got the cojones to do it. And then thus Brock got down and went to go do it anyway. But he had to go through security, but then he got blindsided by Bobby Lashley, who signed the contract and threw it on down Brock Lesnar. Which I also think that the best, I forgot to mention too, in that Bobby mentioned that every time they come face to face, Bobby said either I had pinned you, left you unconscious, or eliminated you from the Royal Rumble. And he literally did it like that. He said, and then, so I was like, okay. I mean, he's technically correct. So, except for the one, that's why this is a rubber match, because they both got a victory over each other. But that ends that segment. We get to the second match, which is Piper Niven versus Michin, or Mia Yim. But I think I like it. I like her being called Michin, because it's give her like a little bit more edgier, but she needs to win a little bit more matches before. But I like the Michin name. But this was a cool match for Piper and Michin to get some time in the spotlight. And they really highlight in Piper. It looked like they're giving her a semi. I don't want to say the full on push, but she's been getting pushed and she's been a little bit since she came back. Especially with the fact that she's no longer dude dropping. She's Piper Niven. But Piper Niven will end up getting the victory here. And the only reason why I'm going to say this was a squash match, because Michin got a lot of offense in against Piper, so it wasn't a total squash match, but you could tell that Piper was winning. Next was supposed to be a Baron Corbin interview. The backstage interview. They started off as a Baron Corbin backstage interview about his breakup with JBL from last week. And before he could, I think he started off talking, but then they got like a, wait a minute, hold on, Baron. I got breaking news that we got to cut back to the ring, and thus it was Sami Zayn, and so this was really like a Sami and Cody promo, because Sami basically came out and he called out Cody, and he wanted to hear from Cody's mouth, because Cody, I think last week said that. He believed that it was looking more likely that his opponent at WrestleMania was going to be Sami, and that his comments about the fact that he believed Sami was going to be the one to beat Roman Reigns. So he basically wanted to hear from Cody, and Cody said, that is what I believe, that is what I said, I do believe it, but that's not what this is about. This is more about you not believing it. And so he told him, he basically gave him a pep talk, said that he asked him, do you think that you can? And this was like the best promo of the night. And the Sami basically said he believed that he do all that, but he believed that everything he do believe. But if you ask him the question of, do you think anybody think that he's going to beat Roman? He said that's the question when he can't say yes to. He said, I don't know. Because he said he's been in the trenches with them, he's been with them, and he knows that Roman is operating on another level that he's haven't been before, and that he is most likely literally in God mode, because he said it was people bigger, stronger than him, and they got put down by Roman, or Roman pretty much got help to put people down, but he said he's gonna find a way, and then he's gonna beat Roman and go on to WrestleMania. And that I think they ended the segment with Cody said, I don't want to see you here on Monday Night Raw no more, because I very much see you at WrestleMania. But that was a good promo. That promo was the best promo of the night. And then they went back to Baron Corbin, to where Baron Corbin, I think because like the first time he was all like sad and stuff, it was getting ready to talk all weak and sad, but then he got agitated. So this time he was saying, "I'm tired of everybody disrespecting me." He said, "Let's start off with the backstage interviewer lady." She said, "We had an interview, and then you interrupt me for Sami Zayn." So then he started running down everybody, saying how Sami gonna get beat by Roman, and that they keep lining people up for Roman that he could beat, but that they won't give him to Roman, because quite literally, the last time Roman got pinned, it was by Baron Corbin. And Baron believes that he could be the one to beat him. And that he said Cody is nothing. He said he don't see what nobody sees in him. But he all the while he doesn't realize Cody has came from the ring and standing right in a little bit back behind him, just listening to what he said. And he said, "You know what I think?" He said his brother, I think he's a joke. His brother's a joke. His dad is a joke. You saw Cody go, "Oh God, you did it." He just shook it. He went like, "Oh God, you did it," and then he just went and attacked Baron, and thus out in an impromptu way, he just said, "Bring me a ref." Then he go change the gear. He just followed me in the street clothes. And it was actually a match. The next match was actually Cody versus Baron Corbin, which was an okay match. It was pretty much like a squash match, but Baron Corbin did get some offense in, but Cody Rhodes ended up winning that match. And then they got directly into another match with Liv Morgan. I think it was like Liv Morgan. Yeah, it was Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Raquel in the back. It was the advertised SmackDown versus Raw or Raw versus SmackDown match. But yeah, Liv and Raquel and they was talking about how Nat was about how she didn't like the fact that Bayley and Becky were trying to weasel their way into the chamber match. And Liv just said, either way, it's just more people to eliminate on my road to WrestleMania. And then Nat was like, "It seems like you don't think don't take me as a legit threat." And she said, "I didn't say that at all. That's what it sounded like." And then Raquel had to break them up and get them on the same page for their match. And thus they went out there and had their match. It was, like I said, it was Liv, Nat, and Raquel versus Carmella, Nikki, and Asuka. Not like they did have a little backstage segment earlier with Carmella, Nikki, and Asuka, where Carmella was just talking and Nikki was just like being all weird and creepy. And then she got caught in the middle between Asuka and Nikki, both being weird to each other. And she was like, and she said, "Y'all just weird." But I love Asuka's new entrance thing. That was awesome. I like her new entrance thing. It seems like she's like more like they just turned her into a more crazy, unhinged version of herself. And that's sold in this match. The match was good, and so it was a good little triple threat match. SmackDown, like I said, SmackDown versus Raw match. But I think the highlight here was that during the lead up to the victory, I think everybody jumped in the ring, was kind of chaotic and fighting each other. But they started clearing. Asuka started helping them clear the ring, and the Raw team was standing tall, and then Asuka just went off and started beating up her own teammates. I think she German suplex both Carmella and Nikki while beating up on the other team, and then just submitted Liv for the victory. We got the next match, which is Bronson Reed versus Mustafa Ali, which is because of a backstage segment where Mustafa ran his mouth about how if it was him versus I forgot who Dolph Ziggler lost to. I forgot who it was. I'm trying to remember who Dolph Ziggler lost to. Bronson Reed. He said it was him versus Bronson Reed. He would have beat Bronson Reed, which Bronson Reed hurt, and thus this match came about. Bronson Reed pretty much, I guess Mustafa Ali did get a little bit of offense, but Bronson Reed pretty much dominated and won the match. We got a Miz TV promo where he talked about how he wanted to talk to, he had Seth on there, he wanted to talk to Seth about Logan Paul, and Seth wouldn't want to talk about him, but then he goaded Seth into talking about why he don't want to talk about Logan Paul. It's like he'll talk about Logan Paul anywhere but NWE in the ring. And he said the reason why he don't want to talk about Logan Paul in the ring because Logan Paul don't deserve it. He just wants the attention and line his pockets. But this led to a competition between the two. And Seth Rollins, what was with Seth Rollins' boots? I don't understand what was with his boots. It did like some type of weird video game, he said it was fashion, but I don't. It was like he just was. He had some cosplay costume boots on. I don't know what it was, but he basically tried to. Him and Miz got into it. He was gonna get the Miz to stop, but Austin Theory came out to stop it. But then he beat up Austin Theory. He went back to beat up on the Miz. Gave the Miz to stop, and then Austin Theory came and gave him an 8-time down to stand tall in this segment. But I guess the Miz had a match with Rick Boogs, and Rick Boogs came out and basically dominated the Miz and pinned him. But they put it as, because the Miz was already messed up from his beat down from Seth Rollins. But he pretty much came, the Miz got somewhat offense in, but he got dominated mostly, and Rick Boogs won. There was a Rick Boogs and Elias promo too, just to add. Trying to see then we got to the main event, which is Becky versus Bianca and Bayley. And this main event was good. This was a good main event. They did their thing. I ain't gonna say they didn't. They did their thing. I will say this. I honestly didn't think it was going to go the way it went. I honestly did not, because I honestly thought that someone was getting added. So you could see where I'm going with this, because I said I thought someone was going to get added. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Perfect main event match. Perfect. Went the distance too. They gave them a good amount of time to do this, but I honestly, it caught me off guard on the fact that I didn't think that Bianca was winning. I thought at least, I didn't think she was going to get pinned, but I thought at least Bayley was going to pin Becky, or Becky was going to pin Bayley. One of them was going to get KOD, the other person was going to throw Bianca out the ring and then pin the other person and be added to the match. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that one of them was going to get added, but actually it didn't. Even with Damage Control coming out and the other members, people who was already in the chamber to try to come out and help even the odds, it didn't matter, because Bianca won in the end, and thus, as the rule implies, if Bianca wins, neither Bayley or Becky get added. So now it's still the same, and the Elimination Chamber match doesn't change. Which begs the question: what do Bayley and Becky roll to WrestleMania look like? Which is more likely they're going to be facing each other at WrestleMania. But yeah, and that was it. That's it. That's all she wrote. I think this was an okay go home show for the Elimination Chamber, which is this Saturday. I think nothing on this card was bad. Yeah, it was. You may have some okay or a little bit boring promos, but other than that, it wasn't really bad. It was all enjoyable stuff. Good wrestling, good storytelling, good amount of matches. A lot of people who don't get enough TV time got some TV time. So overall, I would say this was a 7 out of 10. Big ups. And yeah. You let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed my review, you hit this button right there down the right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the review so much, you want to support the channel, hit those buttons, guys. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but not one where got gameplay coming up for you. Peace.